Hi, this is your mini lecture for Chapter 17 on career management. All right, here are the learning outcomes for this chapter. You may pause here and read them if you choose. We're first going to talk about occupational and organizational choice and decision. So there's a theory by John Holland on occupational choice, which states that there are 6 types of personalities, and each personality is characterized by a very specific set of interests and values. And these occupations can be classified into these 6 groupings: realistic, artistic, investigative, enterprising, social, and conventional. And basically, it says that people choose occupations that match their personalities, which I think is pretty intuitive. I think we understand that. And so, if we look at expectancy theory, which we've talked about, is that we choose organizations and careers that maximize our positive outcomes and avoid negative outcomes. But sometimes, and I think we have all done this, we might satisfy, which means we pick something that's good enough. Um, and I think we find this a lot more, maybe even in the early stages of our career where we don't have as much experience and we feel that we need to gain experience in order to move into different roles. Um, so, a realistic job preview is one in which um, employers give employees both positive and negative information about a job they're applying for. When I have done interviews with individuals that we're looking to hire, I think it's really important to tell them, here are the great things, here are some of the challenges, because not only are we interviewing them to make sure that they're a good fit, but they are also, in a sense, interviewing us to make sure that we are a good fit for them. And so by providing both positive and maybe challenges, it's probably a better way to put it than negative, we're really creating and providing expectations that are similar to the reality of the situation. Um, and this may encourage people or may make them realize, oh, this isn't a good fit for me, but that's okay because it's very expensive to hire um, and retain people. It takes a lot of time and energy. So we would rather know ahead of time if it's not a good fit than later on after they've started. So let's look at the foundations for a successful career. Well, we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to acquire skills. We have to be able to rely on ourselves. We should be flexible, team-oriented, be open to change, try to be tolerant to uncertain situations. That's what ambiguity means. Be ethical, develop emotional intelligence, and this is really just developing the ability to be empathetic or to see things from other people's point of views and to be able to work. And that helps you to be able to work better with others. So there's different stages of a career, and this is just, in general, right? These are the career stages at the stages of our life. So in our early adulthood, we're getting established. In the 40s to 60s, we're advancing, we're maintaining our career, and then eventually, as we get older, we withdraw from the workforce, most likely. So let's look at each of these stages. So a newcomer is really somebody who's new to the work world. They're just trying to negotiate, um, trying to kind of figure out what this work world thing is, trying to socialize, trying to just understand the work world. In the advancement stages, um, people are starting to explore different career paths. They might be finding a mentor. They might be trying to manage conflicts between work and personal life, those conflicts between having a family or spending time with your family and work, or your hobbies and work, or whatever that might be. Um, So at this stage, people have career paths, and people just happen to move along in their career path. I know that from where I started to where I am now is very different, and it should look different, and what I desire and what I want in my career are very different as well. A career ladder is just a series of job positions, so as you get older, you get more experience, you progress into different roles. And then a career lattice is really just building competencies or skills where you're just moving through different projects to different departments um, based on your needs and the needs of the organization. I will say if you're able to find a mentor, that is a great thing. Um, Mentors can provide coaching, they can help to introduce you to people, they can be a role model, they can be a friend. I think a lot of times people think, oh, I need to go find a mentor. And I remember thinking, how do I find a mentor? And what I've realized throughout my career is that mentors kind of organically or naturally occur. You will find people that really just do provide that advice and are there to help you and are willing to serve in that role. And so, try to find those relationships where you have somebody who can really help you along in your career. Here's just the characteristics of a good mentor-mentee relationship. Be in regular contact, be consistent. Um, Both parties need to manage the relationship. Mentors need to be held accountable. They should be rewarded for their role, and they should be compatible in your personalities. These just talk about the stages of mentoring, which you can read about. Um, a dual career partnership is one in which both people have important career roles. And so that would be like if two people who are married or two people in a relationship um, are both working, and this is my situation in my in my marriage. We both have careers, and it is very hard to navigate at times. I definitely take on more of the parenting roles because I am a mom. But we also have to try to both make time and really support each other. And so that can also be a stressor in our lives as well. It's also hard if you're the person staying home and the other person is working because being home and taking care of the things that a household needs are also very difficult and in a different way. So, how do we manage work home conflicts either as a company or just personally? Well, obviously, the more flexible we can be in schedules, and I think that COVID taught us a lot about this, the better, right? I have a very flexible work schedule. It really does make a difference for our family. Having sponsored childcare, there are some large companies that provide on site childcare. Childcare, as most of you probably know, is very hard to find right now. So anything we can do to remove that barrier and provide quality childcare is great. Elder care. Some of us are taking care of our elderly parents or grandparents or family members. So how do we provide support for that as well? In a way that we can provide this, if we can't provide elder care, we can't provide child care as an employer, is to give people flex time, to let people work at home, to let people work longer days if they have more days off. Part-time hours. You can do job sharing where two people are both part-time and that makes up one full-time position. So there's lots of unique ways companies can be flexible to the demanding needs of today's family units. Um, so how do we navigate the challenges of the maintenance stage of the career stage model? So once we move past the beginning stages and we get to that more maintenance stage in our later years, we start to reach a career plateau. And so we might have more lateral moves across the organization, or we might be working on special projects, or maybe it's our turn to become the mentor. And then eventually people withdraw from the workforce, usually through retirement. Um, as companies, we also need to be aware of retirement. So providing health insurance, providing retirement options, starting to save for retirement early. If I can give you any life advice, that is my life advice. Phased retirement, where you don't just retire. We see a lot of this in higher education. People do phased retirements. So they just sort of gradually withdraw from the workforce. And then bridge employment is really when somebody falls between retiring from a full-time position and permanent withdrawal from the workforce. I've even seen people who've retired from their career and then have gone back into the workforce to work in a part-time job as either for something to do or to supplement their income as well. All right, so that is the mini lecture for chapter 17. If you have questions, let me know.